8-3. The Chicago Bears are 8-3 and still number one in the NFC North. The Green Bay Packers found a way to beat Minnesota pretty handedly, I will say. As we're going live, I think the Lions did also find a way to beat the Giants. No, they're coming back?
It's close.
All right. Well, let's hope that happens. It was in overtime when we jumped on here, but the Chicago Bears, hot and heavy, number one in the NFC North. Another freaking heart palpitation game, came down to the end, a little bit different this time. I got a little nervous in the text thread. I think I said in the text thread, I was like, look, this almost feels like the opposite, right? Like they're going to have too much time. They're going to go down and score. I just wanted Caleb to put this thing to bed, and it was just not happening. Too many things left out on the field, but they found a way to win, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears come away with another big win, a close game against a, let's just say, not bad team, right? I don't think the Steelers are all that good, so the Bears continue to just beat teams that they're better than. They could have lost, but instead they won, and that's great. But there's still just common themes in that this offense could have done more to put this game away, but did not. The defense makes enough big plays so that, it kind of comes out in the end, even though the defense isn't all that good. But here we are just talking about Bears win again, and how can you be upset about that?
Yeah, I mean, the things I had my eye on before the game even happened was, can they actually overcome the crazy number of injuries they have? And they did. But I thought, and I wrote this in my notes, again, pregame, this is a game the offense is going to need to carry us. I mean, you put 31 on the board, so I guess that's not a poor performance necessarily. But to your point, Bob, the things that are in my mind are all the what ifs, all the poor timing or just misconnections. I mean, today I wouldn't say they were drops as much as poorly placed balls by Caleb. And so obviously every game we like to talk about Caleb, but he's leading a team that's 8-3. Down as many guys as you are. I mean, they don't have Rodgers. So, of course, in the NFL, you're going to not have guys. But you go out there, you do things the right way, you come away with the W. Woo! 8-3. Pretty incredible.
That's right. Now, binary assessment, Caleb Williams had a good game today, right? I mean, if it's good or bad game, Caleb Williams had a good game. Can we agree on that?
3 touchdowns and 239 yards. You can't complain about that.
Well, and their touchdown, though, you have to almost give him the credit for.
I almost said 38 points for the offense because
still not full disclosure for our listeners. I did not watch a big chunk of the first half and into the third quarter. I played golf this morning, a little bit of a frost delay. So let me know in the comments about how you feel me playing golf instead of watching the Bears game. But I have no regrets. Last time to get out for the year. But, I mean, there was a time in the third quarter where you thought, oh, my gosh, Caleb Williams is going to have one of these monster lines, 330 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. It seemed like it could have gone there, but it just didn't. 2 times they got the ball with a chance to put the game away in the fourth quarter, and they just didn't. One possession was just awful. Some missed connection with Rome Odunze on first down. I think it wasn't a great throw, but I also looked like Rome Odunze tried to settle in the zone instead of keep moving. So it was like miscommunication. I hate week 12. We're talking about miscommunication with your number 1 wide receiver, but that happened. And then a horrible delay of game on third down. And that was just awful. And then, the 3 and out when they get the ball back again, where they could have just run the entire clock out. And it just wasn't good enough possession. So obviously, he did plenty enough in the first 2.5 quarters of the game to get the lead and win. So those are good. I hate to just harp on the bad, but it's just a common theme of just the offense being okay to just squeak by with the defense being good enough. And here we are, instead of just talking about a 10-point blowout.
So you're 6-1 now, I believe, in 1-score games. But about 3 of your wins shouldn't have come down to 1 score if you took care of business how you were supposed to, when you were supposed to. Still good to come out on the winning side, but we keep saying it. Is that how it's going to happen when you play the Packers, when you play Detroit, when you hopefully are in the playoffs, playing playoff caliber teams? So it's a bit concerning. I have one thing I want to throw out there. If this is not the time, let's circle back to it. But Trapillo getting a look at left tackle, and I didn't notice him in a bad way, and I thought he played well. And that's a good sign if he can play that position. But did you guys notice anything there?
So I honestly did not notice, but to your point, I think that's a great sign if you didn't notice him out there. Rob, did you have a closer look?
I honestly, I was going to say, I noticed Darnell Wright struggling more than I noticed anyone else on that line struggling. So yeah, I didn't notice enough of him to warrant any concern. I will say the one thing that was missing though today, and I don't know if it was because we, had a different left tackle or if it was because, they were going up against a better run defense. The running game just wasn't what it was, right? They only got 99 yards total today. It wasn't what it has been. And to your point, Bob, like Caleb Williams did enough. He did enough, even though there were so many times where I was very frustrated. He did enough. I think Justin, you texted saying within the 8s, right? Like they won and even though they gave up that touchdown, but
yeah. So the middle 8 is something they brought it up on the broadcast. We've brought it up many times on the show, and they gave up a gashing play on defense headed into the 2-minute warning or headed into halftime. And it's like, they get the ball coming out of the half. So it's like, this could really turn the game. But there was enough time for the Bears to respond. They somewhat did. And then coming out of the half, the defense, I believe it was a 3-and-out. And then the Bears had another scoring drive. So right away after the half, you're up 3, I think, and you had the ball. That's the chance to just go up 10. Go up, put it out of reach. And they just did not do it. So I guess that's what you want to see them improve towards.
And also, Justin, to your point too, earlier you said, were they going to be able to overcome these injuries? The injuries kept piling up, right? Like they lost Hippolyte at one point. Tyreek Stevenson again gets pulled from the game. You got Nick McLeod out there. I'm tweeting out, Nick McLeod still isn't good at football. And then sure enough, a 20-some yard DPI that just literally, how do you grab the guy's jersey and expect? I mean, I guess.
Well,
a touchdown.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. It was like, I'd rather get a 27-yard pass interference than give up this touchdown. So I think it was actually a heads-up play for being terrible.
Yes, but then later on, like I'm watching balls just sail, and I'm like, even on bad passes, I'm worried that he's going to just cause a horrible penalty. And thank goodness he didn't. But the attrition is definitely hurting them a lot, right? Like. They had, I'm blanking on the guy, the linebacker who's also a special teamer.
Amen. O.
Yes, exactly. He was hurt for like a couple plays, was able to come back. Jonah Jackson goes down with an injury. I don't know. It's just, I don't know if he's ever going to be fully healthy.
I have no idea. The fact that Edmonds actually went on the IR was a little troubling. So that's 4 weeks that he's going to be out. But I mean, obviously, in the stat sheet, it looks like Marco and Amen played pretty good, 29 combined tackles. So they're making the tackles. But on that, I was on the golf course, but on that long run on 4th and 1 that they had, somebody wasn't in the gap that was supposed to be. So, I mean, what happened there? But at the end of the day, guys are just stepping up and doing enough, right? The defense obviously wasn't great today, but neither was Mason Rudolph. And so in those fourth quarter possessions when the Steelers were backed up, even though the offense didn't do anything, they're backed up, and you just knew there wasn't going to be a big play, right? So I know that we got a little frustrated at times because there was some space that the DBs were giving the wide receivers, but we just knew he wasn't going to be able to complete a long ball. So let's just keep him in front. And then those last few plays of that last drive, the defense definitely tightened up, a couple deflected balls in there and end of the game.
So since Bob was golfing, we didn't want to disturb him at all. And Rob, you and I were chatting a little bit more early in the game. And I just want to point out something that definitely falls under this season-long theme that we've been talking about of the Ben Johnson effect. But probably their best drive of the game came when they're down 14-7 and had a 4th and 1 at their own 39, and he chose to go for it. Now, not only did he choose to go for it, they ran a perfect play. This is a fake to Swift, who then becomes the lead blocker. There's only one tackler. He took that tackler on, easy conversion. That's the play also that Caleb took a shot at the sideline. We could talk, whatever. He was technically in bounds. You got to either give yourself up or get out of bounds.
So here's the thing. But he was technically in bounds, but he was giving himself up, and that just
He was. But remember my key point. This is the Ben Johnson effect, guys. Had they not converted there, of course, it could have snowballed the other way. But he has the belief in his team. he has the belief in himself to call the right play at the right time. And I just wanted to point that out, that whole rest of that drive doesn't happen if you don't have that gutsy call. And the league is changing a bit in terms of the dynamics when you look at field position and things like that. So I think it's the time to be a little more risky. But wow, what a call at that point in the game.
CJ Gardner-Johnson on the sideline too, coming out to defend Caleb Williams. Like, look, is it just because he likes a scuffle, or is it because, he's already bought in on his quarterback? I don't know. This team he seems to be, aligning pretty well, obviously returning with Dennis Allen's system. And like you said, the Ben Johnson effect, it just seems like there's this feel within the locker room that they can beat anybody.
Yeah, I mean, anybody who's on their schedule, apparently. We'll see what happens when actual somebodies start showing up on the schedule.
So they were less than 1% to win the 1 seed. Now you go to Philly, 8-3.
Yeah,
win that. Your percentage has to go up, I imagine.
I can't imagine a lot of 8-3 teams don't make the playoffs when there's 7 teams that make the playoffs. I mean, we'll see. Again, they got to win these games. We're not as afraid, I guess, afraid of the Packers. I don't want to give them that much credit, I suppose, but the games against the Packers looked a lot harder in the earlier of the season than they do right now. The games at the end of the season against the 49ers and the Lions don't look so scary as they might have a few weeks ago. So, I mean, there's definitely chances to keep winning these games. But we just don't know. I mean, the good teams that this Bears team has faced, it was really Detroit week 2 and Baltimore week whenever that was. And those are the critical losses, so until they actually beat a team that is actually good, we just really don't know how it's going to stand up. Obviously, the Steelers today, they're an average team. Mason Rudolph was not good enough to win this game. I know Rob at one point he said this feels like the opposite, when we thought the Steelers were going to march down the field. Well, let's give our guys some credit. Like Caleb Williams, I would have had confidence that he'd be able to march down that field, and Mason Rudolph couldn't. So at least, let's give our guys some credit there. Another guy who would think some credit, if we want to just do our game balls or not. Should we just go into game balls, or I got one more guy to talk about? I'll just throw it off with the first game ball. This guy's taking a lot of flack, some of it deserving, some of it maybe not. I mean, this guy was never, ever going to be a 15-sack a guy a year. But, I mean, Montez Sweat made impact plays today. He was always a presence, even when he wasn't necessarily getting there. He had one god-awful missed sack. Just terrible. Could have ended the game, but he didn't. Could
have got him in the Pro Bowl.
Right. But Montez Sweat deserves some recognition for the way he played today. And I guess a little bit of hat tip to the Steelers blocking scheme as well. I mean, how many times do they have him one-on-one versus a tight end or just a running back? So, but whatever, that's what you have to do. When you're getting disrespected in the mismatch like that, you have to produce, and that's what he did. So good for Montez Sweat.
I got one, but Rob, do you want to go first? I feel like
go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay. He's been criticized a bunch as well, and sometimes deservedly so. DJ Moore, 2 touchdowns. The one on the goal line was a beautiful route, like a whip route, where he was just pretty much just beat the guy in one-on-one, and good throw by Caleb. The other one was on a free play, but again, he hit the seam and it was wide open, and Caleb delivered the ball. But 2 touchdowns, targeted 7 times, caught 5 of them. Compare that to Odunze, 9 targets, only 3 were catches. I really don't know what's going on with the Caleb to Odunze connection. It's been quite a disappointment, if you ask me, over the last 4 to 5 weeks. I'd like to see that get going soon. I thought this was going to be the game, but luckily DJ Moore stepped up.
I will say it didn't seem like he had any egregious drops in this game though, right? Like you had the one on the sideline that got punched out. That was just a great play by the defensive back. Some of those targets probably were throwaways too.
One was the halftime throwaway, I believe.
Like that. Yeah. What do they call it? The grenade, I think, is what just to get time off the clock to put it down to 7 to 3 seconds, right? All right, I'm going to give my game ball to a guy who also has gotten a lot of flack, rightfully so at times. A guy who's been up and down, but wasn't even supposed to be the guy. Has started every game for the Chicago Bears this year and started to set the tone on the very first play, I think it was the very first play, maybe it was the second play or third play of the Steelers' first drive. And that's Nahshon Wright, right? He now has 5 interceptions, tied for the lead on the team with Kevin Byard, one of the top interceptors of the league as it is. And I know he gives up plays at times, but I think he played his best game today. I know DK Metcalf was dealing with a bit of an injury. It seemed like he got hurt at some point early on in the game, was out for a bit, was able to return, but even had a chance at another interception and just couldn't come down with it. So I'm going to give it to Nahshon Wright.
Yeah, I think that's deserving. That was a monster play early on, and it wasn't just like a gimme. He went up and took the ball away. So Good on him.
Well, I don't know what we can guarantee to the Hallis Huddle fans in terms of what we're going to be able to put out for episodes. Bears play quickly here, guys. Quick turnaround for Black Friday. So I will
be traveling.
Subscribe. What?
I will be traveling that day, so I will not be available to record a reactionary video unless I can somehow record from the airport or on the airplane.
I don't think that'll fly.
Probably not. Hopefully I can fly.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, Hallis Huddlers, hopefully you'll hear from us a couple times this upcoming week. But enjoy Thanksgiving if you don't hear from us before then.
Go Bears.
What are you guys thankful for? Right? An 8-3 team? You can't be upset about this. You just can't.
8-3 team with a lot of room to grow as well.
I'm thankful that I don't have to start looking at prospects yet.
Correct.
For the upcoming draft.
You know what I'm not thankful for? The fact that Jeremiah Love is not going to be an option for the Chicago Bears. I honestly was like, that was my guy early on, coming out of Notre Dame. I want a running back. Not that Monangai hasn't looked good out of the 6th round, not that or 7th round, not that Swift hasn't looked decent as long as he can get to the outside. I mean, but I wanted Love. Love was a difference maker, and there is absolutely no way he's going to be available when they pick. And that's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Go get a left tackle or an end.
All right, Hal. So there's comment below. Let us know what you think. Make sure you like this video. Subscribe if you're not. But otherwise,
hit that subscribe button. Go Chicago Bears. Let's go.
Bear down.
Claws up. Ready, break.